Have you ever noticed how two people can face the exact same challenge, and yet one crumbles under pressure while the other somehow rises and thrives? It's not luck. It's not even just talent. It's something much deeper, your attitude. Jeff Keller, in his book, Attitude is Everything, makes a bold but life-changing claim. If you change your attitude, you change your life. And in today's video, we're going to unpack how. Not through vague motivational talk, but through real stories, practical lessons, and exercises you can actually use. So if you've ever felt stuck, discouraged, or wondered how to turn setbacks into comebacks, this one's for you. Jeff Keller isn't just an author. He's someone who lived this transformation. For years, he was a lawyer, stuck in a career that drained him, frustrated and uninspired. But when he discovered the power of attitude, he completely reinvented his life, becoming a motivational speaker and writer who's inspired millions. And that's what makes this book so relatable. It's not theory, it's experience. Keller breaks his message down into three parts: think, speak, act. Because the way you think shapes your words shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. Let's walk through this journey together. Jeff Keller opens his book with what sounds like a simple idea, but it's one that can change the entire direction of your life. Your thoughts create your reality. At first glance, this can sound almost too simple, maybe even cliche. But Keller isn't talking about magical thinking. He's talking about the way your consistent patterns of thought shape your emotions, your decisions, and eventually the results you get in your life. He shares his own story as proof. Back when he was practicing law, he found himself stuck in a spiral of negative thinking. Day after day, he would wake up with the thought, I hate this job. I'm stuck. I'll never get out of this situation. And sure enough, those thoughts created his reality. He dreaded Mondays. He dragged himself through work. His energy was low, his inspiration was gone, and his life mirrored exactly what he told himself: stuck, uninspired, and going nowhere. But then something shifted. Keller began experimenting with changing his mental habits. Instead of repeating disempowering thoughts, he deliberately began to focus on possibility, gratitude, and opportunity. He started telling himself, there's a way out. I can create something better. Every day I'm moving closer to the life I want. And slowly, the reality around him began to shift. His energy improved. He started to notice opportunities he had ignored before. And most importantly, he began to see himself not as a victim of his job, but as the driver of his own bus. This leads us to one of Keller's most important ideas, the driver's seat principle. He explains it like this: you are the driver of your own bus. Imagine your life as a bus on a long road. You're sitting at the wheel. But here's the catch. If you allow negative thoughts to steer, you're driving straight into a ditch. Every time you tell yourself, I can't, I'm unlucky, or nothing ever works out for me, it's like you're turning the wheel toward failure without even realizing it. But if you take control of that steering wheel, if you choose thoughts of possibility, confidence, and determination, you begin to steer toward success. It doesn't mean the road won't have bumps or detours, but it does mean you'll keep moving forward instead of spinning in circles. Keller gives a simple but powerful example. Let's say you're trying to lose weight. If your daily thought is, I can't lose weight, diets never work for me, then your subconscious mind will act in ways that prove yourself right. You might skip workouts, give in to junk food, or quit at the first sign of struggle because your mind already decided it's impossible. But if you shift the thought to something empowering like, I'm committed to becoming healthier every single day, notice the difference. Your brain begins scanning for ways to make that thought true. You'll be more likely to choose a healthy meal, to walk instead of drive, to celebrate small progress instead of beating yourself up. This is not magic, it's psychology. When you change the way you think, you change the way you feel. And when you change the way you feel, you change what you do. Keller also reminds us of the power of visualization. This isn't just motivational fluff. It's a technique backed by science. Olympic athletes have used it for decades. Before running a race, they'll sit quietly, close their eyes, and imagine themselves sprinting, their muscles moving in perfect rhythm, crossing the finish line in first place. Their brains, when hooked up to scans, light up almost the same way as when they're actually running. Why? Because the mind doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. So when you rehearse success in your head, you're actually training your brain and body for it. Keller shares how professionals in business do this as well, visualizing a successful presentation, a confident handshake, or a deal going smoothly. By rehearsing these moments mentally, they build confidence and focus for when the real situation comes. The key lesson in this first part of the book is clear. Master your thoughts because they become your life. If your thoughts are negative, they will create limitations. If your thoughts are empowering, they will create momentum. You might not be able to control every circumstance in life, but you can control the attitude and mindset you bring to those circumstances, and that makes all the difference. So Keller's challenge to us is this: take the wheel. Don't let your mind drift into negativity by default. Every thought is like turning the wheel of your bus. So where are you steering today? Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, I'll never be able to do that. Knowing my luck, something will go wrong. Or even just, I'm always so unlucky. Keller explains that words are not harmless. They're commands to your subconscious mind. He shares a story of a woman who constantly said, I always catch colds in the winter. And guess what? Every winter, like clockwork, she did. Her words became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, this doesn't mean you magically control the universe with words, but it does mean your words shape your mindset, which shapes your behavior, which influences your results. One exercise Keller suggests is to eliminate negative phrases like, I can't, I never, and I'm unlucky from your vocabulary. Replace them with empowering language. Instead of, I can't do this, say, I'll figure out how. Instead of, I never have good opportunities, say, I'm open to opportunities and I notice them when they come. He also highlights the power of affirmations, not cheesy, empty phrases, but daily declarations that align with your goals. For example, saying, I am becoming more confident every day, or I handle challenges calmly and effectively. Over time, these words rewire your brain. Keller himself practiced this shift when he left law to pursue motivational speaking. He started affirming his vision daily. I am a positive, powerful, and effective speaker. At first, it felt awkward, but soon his words aligned with his actions and his career took off. So here's the takeaway. Guard your words because they're seeds. Plant negativity and you'll harvest problems. Plant positivity and you'll harvest progress. Now here's where many people get stuck. They think positive thoughts, they say the right words, but then they wait and wait and wait. Keller is clear. Nothing changes until you take action. He shares his own turning point. For years, he dreamed of being a motivational speaker. He read books, thought about it, even talked about it, but nothing happened until he took the scary step of giving his first small talk. Was it perfect? No. Was he nervous? Absolutely. But that action set everything in motion. He gives the example of people who say, I'll start when I feel ready. The problem? You'll never feel ready. Action itself creates readiness. One of his mantras is, do it now. Every day you delay, your fear grows. But when you act, momentum builds. Keller also emphasizes persistence. He recalls how many times he stumbled while building his new career. Rejections, low-paying gigs, doubts, but he kept showing up, and that's why it worked. He even quotes Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Edison said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's discipline plus persistence, fueled by attitude. So the third step is this. Don't just think and speak, act. Success rewards movement. Real-life examples from the book. Throughout the book, Keller weaves in simple but powerful stories. A man who turned his failing career around by visualizing and affirming success daily. A woman who stopped complaining, started practicing gratitude, and noticed her relationships and health improving. Keller's own journey from a frustrated lawyer to a passionate motivational speaker, showing that reinvention is possible at any stage. These aren't celebrities or unreachable figures. They're ordinary people, which makes the lessons feel practical and relatable. Putting it all together. So let's step back. Keller's entire philosophy can be summed up in 3 words. Think, speak, act. Think positive, empowering thoughts. Speak words that reinforce possibility, not limitation. Act boldly, even when you don't feel ready. And when you repeat this cycle, your attitude shifts. And when your attitude shifts, your whole life starts to bend in a new direction. So what are the takeaways from Attitude is Everything? First, your mind is your most powerful tool. Guard it like you would guard your most precious treasure. Train it daily. Direct it carefully, because the thoughts you allow in will eventually shape the world you live in. Second, your words are not throwaway lines. They are building blocks. Every sentence you speak to others, and especially to yourself, either builds your future or chips away at it. Use them to create, to inspire, and to strengthen, not to destroy. Third, and perhaps most importantly, action is the bridge between dreams and reality. You can think positively all day long, but without movement, without taking that first uncomfortable step, nothing changes. With action, even small, consistent action, everything becomes possible. Jeff Keller's message is simple but profound. You don't need to wait for the stars to align, for perfect timing, for more resources, or for someone else to give you permission. The truth is, you already hold the power to transform your life, starting with your attitude. And here's the beauty of it. Attitude isn't something you're born with. It's something you choose. Every single day, in every situation, you get to decide, will I complain or will I create? Will I shrink back or will I step forward? Will I let negativity steer my bus or will I take the wheel? That choice, that simple daily choice, is where success truly begins. And once you commit to it, you start to notice that doors open, opportunities multiply, and challenges shrink down to size. Life doesn't suddenly become easy, but you become stronger, sharper, and far more resilient. Because in the end, your circumstances don't define you. Your attitude does. And when you choose the right one, everything else begins to shift in your favor. Now let me turn it to you. What's one area of your life where you know a change in attitude could make all the difference? Is it your work, your health, your relationships? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if this breakdown of attitude is everything resonated with you, do me a favor. Tap that like button, subscribe for more book journeys, and share this video with a friend who might need a reminder that they're not stuck. They just need a new perspective. Because remember, your attitude isn't just one part of your life, it's the foundation. And when you build it strong, everything else begins to rise.